Good morning, Viva. Good morning, Viva fans. Viva Cafe con Leche in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday, Cinco de Mayo. Although my daughter, who always studies history of cultures, says it's a fake celebration. It wasn't really an Independence Day. Whatever. Cinco de Mayo, you could look at it any way you want. I don't care. But good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday, almost the weekend. Welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am the badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. I am a mindfulness teacher. I am a speaker. I am a narcissistic and toxic relationship coach, specializing in narcissistic relationships abuse, CPTSD, PTSD. I am an author. And I am here today from a finally very pretty sunny southern Connecticut, where the temperature, according to my laptop, is 56. I don't think it's that warm yet, but it is going to be nice. I brought in the garbage this morning, the cans, and I could tell by the feel it's already going to be nice. We've had nothing but like gloomy gray, lots of rain, which is great. Lots of stuff grew, which is absolutely fabulous. And so I'm looking forward to it. It's supposed to rain tomorrow and Saturday again, but I think Mother's Day is supposed to be nice. And so we're here to celebrate all of you mothers out there. And if you're not a mother, if you're a fabulous auntie, that works as well, because you are the second mothers and even the grandmothers, right? I know they have Grandparents' Day, but mother, grandmother, it's the same thing. You are mothering. All right. And as you can see, Gladiator Guru is not here. We talked about this on Tuesday. She did not think that she was going to make it. Actually, I don't know if we actually talked about it on Tuesday. Oh no, we didn't. She sent me a text message the night that she was leaving, and she said that they were just looking at the map and they believed that they were going to be in the mountains, because they just started walking today. And she was not confident that she would be able to find a signal. So she was worried that she wasn't going to make it. And I said, don't worry about it, because we have our fabulous guest, Daiana Negron, here. And she was going to be our guest anyway. So she's going to be co-host slash guest. So Daiana, go ahead and introduce your fabulous self. And then we'll get the conversation. We'll start our usual conversation, and then we'll get to the topic today. So
Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody. My name is Daiana Negron. I'm a healer, mentor, and a sexy mom. Those are the titles I'm rocking today.
All right. Tell everybody what you do. Tell about your business, and tell them about the phenomenal nonprofit that you have.
Journal of Hope. Yes, we love Journal of Hope. Journals is a space that we've created to bring enrichment programs to the youth, focusing on literacy, social, emotional, and community skills, right? And we loving the work there. Lori's one of our board members, and it has been a fantastic ride, to say the least. But here serving our community. And with the business, I am a licensed massage therapist and energy healer. And I dabble in a little bit of other stuff. There's some global services that I do, like Thai massage and Reiki, Santiguar, which I love because it's close to my heart. It's a part of the folk healing from Puerto Rico. And I just dabble into everything that you'll see on the website. Everything's nice and listed and organized for you to see. But today I'm here as a mom, chatting it up with Lori and all the little things that make us who we are.
And she is a fabulous mom. I got to tell you, she's a single mom. She's an entrepreneur. She runs a nonprofit. And she's got 3 absolutely fabulous kids. And that speaks volumes, like of being able to do all of that. Like, she's amazing. We've had Daiana on before, and we would probably love to do another show specifically talking about being a mom and an entrepreneur, the challenges, or a single mom. But do share one thing though. I want you to share is talk about Lily like what she's training, because this is the
Oh.
coolest thing. And how old she is.
So Lily's my daughter. She's 8 years old. And she has her own Instagram. I am Lily Love. And since she's been a young girl, she's been very intuitive, what we typically call an old soul. She has tons of wisdom. And so her development was kind of her own, but I think it was a great space to kind of nurture her. And so she recently completed her Reiki 1 certification. And it's so cute to see her schedule like mutual friends. We're not like totally open to the public for her right now, but she's been scheduling people and then confirming their appointments. And her work has been,
Too cute.
short of amazing. Um, People are, I think whether she's doing Reiki or not, just being in Lily's presence does something to you. Seeing her, talking to her, seeing the courage that she has, I think she'll take on a leadership role very well. So she does really great in that arena. And she's a very caring person. Um, she does have some sassiness and people credit to me, but I was like, at that age, I wasn't allowed to be sassy or anything. Like my head was down. But it's beautiful to encourage Lily to be a strong young woman. And she's beautiful as well. So she's a great uh, duo, right? She has different dynamics that make her great. And I hope she continues in the work. Teenage years are right around the corner. And you don't know, there's a flip with that, but hopefully the foundation we have created for her sustains her no matter which way she goes, right? Because when you're out there, different schools, whether you're an adult or a kid, these are new energies, these are new thoughts, these are new people. And when you have a foundation, you're able to kind of roll through it easier. It's more of a breeze in a sense. So that's my little Lily. Keep an eye out for her. She's like super fab.
She is super fab. She really is. And but it speaks volumes of you. The fact that you're very honoring to her natural abilities and you're encouraging her. And then knowing too that she can veer when she gets a little older if she veers. But the thing is, sometimes they veer and then they veer back, and it's about trusting in the process. So it is it speaks volumes too of the work that you do, the fact that you do energetic work. And I've known Daiana for a long time. How long have we known each other now? It's
Oh
been,
my God, 8 years?
because it was before you graduated.
Yes. So I say 8 because I've been licensed massage therapist for about 6 years now. Close
Okay.
to
Yeah.
6.
So yeah, it's been a while. And I
Yeah.
mean, I actually thought it was longer because it feels longer. Like she's one of those people that it's an old soul. It's like we connected right away. And
Yes.
she's been absolutely phenomenal friend. And I was honored to be a part of Journal of Hope because I think it's absolutely wonderful. So we're going to put some information into the chat, so the comments, so that you can click directly on the links to connect with Daiana and also Journal of Hope. But I also do want to mention too that for those of you that have Gladiator Guru's Venmo or Cash App, you can have a cup of coffee with her on the Camino. So all you have to do is just go onto her Venmo, send her some money, and then put on there cup of coffee. And she will sit and do a video and have a cup of coffee with you. And she's already done one, and I was watching it on the social media. So, I think it's a very cute idea.
It
And
is.
and also keep up with her because she's going to be interviewing people along the way, which is really cool. I don't think she did that the first time. So she's going to be interviewing people and then uploading the videos as she go. They may not be live depending on her service. So you were there with you in spirit. And
Yes.
so remember, today's her first day of walking. So if we're going to walk along with her, we need to get in a walk today. I will get my 5 miles in, and then I'm off to the airport to pick up my sister, who I see is on So good morning. And speaking of, let me do some shout outs here. So good morning, Tiffany Bryan, Kathy Ruiz. And Kathy's going to be a guest host for us as well. So I've got to get that all put together. I think next week, right, Kathy? Milagros, good morning. I would love to have Milagros, but I think she's working. Nancy Green, good morning. Nancy, I swear you are getting younger every time you post a picture. So whatever you're doing, girl, you got to share it with the tribe, how you're like going back in time. Chenille Real Deal is in the house. Who else do we have? We have Kevin Castillo. Good morning, coming from YouTube. We love that. We love our YouTube people. Melissa Hernandez Moran got us to our 100th subscriber on YouTube. We will never let her forget that. And Melissa, good morning, my friend. And Gwen Lord, good morning. And Gail, woohoo! Gail came in. And what do we have? It says, Kathy says, we are all creating an incredible new place here on this planet. It is inspiring to see someone so young stepping into her essence. Absolutely. Yes. I absolutely agree with you. Oh, look at Editha did a coffee shout out already today. Oh, and Kathy said the 24th. Okay, gotcha, Kathy. We're good. The 24th. That's right. That's the day that Gladiator Guru is coming back and definitely will not be available. She'll be on the plane. So with that in mind, let's get started with our intention, and then we're going to talk about being a sexy mom. All right. Mm-hmm. So as usual, the intention in for Viva Cafe con Leche, we have the same intention every day, but it's such a powerful one. And we have to give the shout out to Carmen A. Nieves, because it is Carmen who put the idea out there for Viva Cafe con Leche. This was her vision. And if anyone knows Carmen loves the word intention. Carmen is always talking about being intentional, and Daiana knows Carmen as well. So it is, so this is always that we always think of Carmen when we set the intention for Viva. So this morning, remember, the intention for today is to be intentional with whatever it is that you want to be intentional with, but be intentional. Go to your day being intentional and go with gratitude. If you have to think it, if you have to write it down, whatever it is, it doesn't have to be just in the morning. You can do it anytime, as many times as you want. If you feel you're going into a certain place, stop, take pause, be intentional, and think about what you're grateful for, and it will shift you.
Absolutely.
Now, let's do our mantra. So, Daiana, you're going to have to repeat after me because you take Gladiator Guru's place. Everybody out there, remember, say it loud, say it proud, shout it out if you can. Here we go. I am a disruptor.
I am a disruptor.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am unapologetically courageous.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am spiritually grounded.
I am magically orgasmic.
I am magically orgasmic.
And I am beyond authentic.
And I am beyond authentic.
Woo! All right. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. And remember, this is not just for our morning mantras, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Say this every single day. Gladiator Guru created the magically orgasmic piece. We talked about the disruptor piece together. She uses it in her branding. I use it in my branding. We talk about it all the time. Outside of Viva as well. And because it is very powerful, it is very powerful to create mantras for yourself. But that one's a fun one too, because it's just reminding us of what our potential is. And if orgasmic makes you feel uncomfortable, get comfortable with it. Because remember, we've told you this before, it's not just a sexual word. It is a sensual word. It is a sensory word. It is about evoking all the feelings within you. So when you go about your day, feel your entire day, smell it, hear it, taste it, see it, feel it within you to evoke that amazing connection to yourself and to your environment. So that being said, I still can't be as poetic as Gladiator Guru.
You did good. No.
So I do want to shout out to Demixter. Janine Mullane is watching. Don't forget to say hi, with up on the screen so that we can see you, so I don't have to keep going back, but that's okay. All right. So, my dear, so you are looking very sexy, Mom,
Thank you.
today. I like we came on and we're like, oh my God, did we
Fun.
plan this with our hair today? And I was not going to wear this, which would have gave me a little bit of cleavage. You got a little bit of cleavage going on, but so let's talk about this. We're going to put this question out to all of you in the comments. Do you believe yourself to be a sexy mom? And for the men that are listening, for the women in your life, if you have a significant other that is a mom, do you believe she is a sexy mom? And I mean, I know you don't have to say, is your mom sexy? That might be a little weird, but you can, as the ladies in here might feel empowered. Do you believe that your mom was sexy? Like that, because did that play a role in how you feel yourself to be as a sexy mom? So let's get the conversation going. What do you think, Dana? Are you a sexy mom?
Yes, I have stamped the label to myself that has been given to me. But I'll say this: I don't have that mindset, right? I don't walk around going, "Oh, I'm sexy." I think it's just, how I speak or how I look, because I've been blessed with some great assets. So it's just that kind of gives the
Work it,
vibe
girl,
on
work
its
it.
own. So yeah, and I love it. It's not about the intention. I love loving self, right? I really embody it, and I think it's all about nurturing the body, regardless of how it looks, and self acceptance.
Absolutely. It is definitely, I think we've redefined our idea of it. I think there was a time where sexy and being a mom wasn't supposed to be, you weren't supposed to do that. And I think over the years, there were people that were bold enough, women that were bold enough to be like, screw that. Like that's not going to work for me. And as anything, it gives us permission to feel a certain way, but even still did you always feel that way about yourself? Like, did you always view yourself as a sexy mom?
No, it's just what people say. Like I said, I don't walk around with that mindset like, oh, I'm sexy, or I'm this, or I'm that.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Right.
but it was like the attention that I got, the words people used to describe me. Like there's something about you. I don't know if it's the eyes or the body, or or the way you speak. It more came from other people, and I think that's what humbles me and doesn't let me go above and beyond. But I will say this: within my culture, I think that it was important for the woman to look kept, right? And look good and wear makeup and wear nice clothes, even if you were a housewife. I think the difference was the behavior associated with sexy. I think you could have the look, right, and take care of yourself. And the way it was taught was like, be presentable. But you weren't flirtatious. You weren't exposing yourself. Because I think Latin women on their own, I think that there is like this sexy kind of, concept. Like, look at the uproar with J-Lo doing, what was it? The Super Bowl, right? She's in her 50s. She's in these itty bitty outfits, and people had a hard time with that. And I think that when it comes to our culture, we do embody beauty. We do embody our curves, but always behave respectful, right?
You had a hard time with that. Let me tell you, if I had her body, because she and I think are the same age. She's either a year older or my age exactly.
Okay.
If I had her body, I'd be walking around with like pasties on and like a thong going food shopping.
All
You
right,
understand what
Lori.
I'm saying? I would be so I love J Lo. There's people that don't like her. They sometimes think that she's a little arrogant or whatever. Listen, I don't give a crap about that. I think she is badass. I think she's made herself. She has worked hard to get where she is, and she deserves every single bit of it. I don't care what she does in her personal life. I don't care. I don't care how many times she's engaged, whatever. I just think that, and when somebody says, "Oh, well, she has all these trainers," so what? There's a lot of famous people out there that don't have hot bodies, and they have all the money and resources, but she knows that that's her investment, and she
Yes.
looks fantastic. So for somebody to say that, whatever. But I will say this as a white woman, okay? Latinas are very sexy. Like the Latino culture exudes sexuality, So when you said that it wasn't really like people didn't, you weren't presenting yourself or something like that. Like I see it differently because I see Latinas, like all ages, just walking and strutting and very confident and always, doesn't matter what their shape is, they wear their clothes with confidence, and they are a little flirty and they are a little crazy, and I've always admired that because I was not raised that way.
Mm.
I always held back. Part of it was how I was raised, but part of it was also me. I'll be accountable to that. I never fully felt sexy. In
Okay.
fact, I'm gonna say this, okay? I really didn't understand my sexuality and my sensuality.
Mm-hmm.
I understand my sexuality. I didn't understand my sensuality, and I didn't view myself as sexy until I started dating a Latino. Until I dated a Puerto Rican man, and they have that way where they bring it out in you and they make you feel that way. And for that, I'll always be grateful to
Mm-hmm.
my ex-husband. I will always be grateful for that because it is he brought that out in me and it was there. So
Yes.
if it wasn't like, I'm not giving him credit for it, it's just he unleashed it. But even then, it still took me many years. It took me into my 40s where I finally started to own it and walk it and have the confidence in my walk and the confidence in my look and receiving it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I used to get disgusted when guys would like hit on me when I was younger and like do kind of act real sexy to me. In fact, before I started dating him, he used to do that. He used to flirt with me and I'd be like, "Oh, gross." But now it's like I handle it different.
Mm-hmm.
Like I handle it different. I kind of look at that. If they do it to me, I kind of say, yeah, what, especially being older. When you get to a certain age, again, we sometimes have this mindset of, oh, I can't be sexy. I can't be, I'm a mother, I can't be sexy. I'm 60, I can't be sexy.
Mm-hmm.
And it is truly about attitude, and that energy comes out. That energy
Well,
does. Like,
you
I like
definitely need to embody it for sure.
I like what Chanel said. She said, "Yes, I do for sure." Talking about feeling sexy, sometimes sexier than other times. Yes, for sure. But most of the time, I feel like a sexy hot mom, and I think my mom is super hot and sexy. I think your mom is super hot and sexy. Her mom is the coolest. She is grand diva, and she struts it. Let's see what else we have here. Gail Craft, oh my OMG, absolutely. I know I have a strong libido. Yes, great. Kathy Ruiz, absolutely. She says yes. Milagros, we know how Milagros says being sexy is an attitude. Absolutely. I love what Carmen wrote, mind, body, and spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And I'm glad you brought that up too, Carmen, because sexy isn't just the outside.
Mm-hmm.
Sexy is your attitude. Sexy is your spirit. Sexy is your mind. Men, when we're younger, we often think that men, it's what they see, the physical piece, which I guess when you're younger guys, that is initially. But as you get a little bit older, though, men find intelligent women very sexy. They find women who are driven and career oriented very sexy. Not all of them. Some are very intimidated by that. But that is also something that is sexy as well.
Yeah, sexy is not one thing.
Yes.
It's it deals with all the senses, right? With sight, with touch, with smell, right? With all the senses. And one of the key words that you said was confidence. Like you said, these older women walk with this confidence and they know who
Yes.
they are. And I think that that's the first piece of being sexy is really knowing who you are, being confident in who you are, being
Yes.
confident in the way that you look and what you bring to the table. And then people pick up on that. And I think for men, they're always looking for the sexy body. I can't say that they don't. I think they always do. And then they want to see what's behind each layer, and can I sustain myself, and is this a partner for me? That's when they get older. But when they're younger, it's definitely just like this physical component. And I don't blame them. Like, we want to have fun at a younger age, right? It's not about taking it so seriously. It's something that I tell my boys all the time. It's like, enjoy life. They're teenagers right now. Be kids. Enjoy that. Enjoy the process. There's enough time for everything else, including the dating scene.
Yes, absolutely. So let's talk about sexy moms. So did you ever view your mother as sexy?
I think my mother was excuse me, a very attractive woman. I can't say her age because I'll get hit, and I'm going to go pick her up from the airport today too. So I'm not going to do that. But my mom is kept, and people are like, wow, like, that's your mom. She takes care of herself. I wouldn't constitute her as sexy because for me, it would be disrespectful to describe her in that sense. But she's a gorgeous woman. She takes care of herself. She does the whole makeup thing in the morning. She's very presentable. She could be over the hot stove making some arroz con gandules and she still look good, you know? Or she's like cooking and prepping, and then she's got to hurry up and get ready before people come. She always got lipstick on. She's ready to go. And she's also a confident woman. So I do get it from my mama, but also my daddy. My dad was always very presentable, very charismatic, but serious as well. And I think the Negron genes, there's something there.
I like Edna. Did you see what Edna Rivera wrote? She wrote, Daiana better not tell her age.
She knows it. Like, I get hit.
And then Carmen, I like what Carmen wrote, right? So mom, pretty, not sexy. I'm right there with you, Carmen. My mother, and thank you. My sister sent stars. So if anybody wants to send stars, please feel free. My mother was very pretty when she was younger. My mother's still, pretty. She's aging very well. My mother's 85 years old. She's gonna be 86. My mother was very pretty when she was younger. She looked like the one that was, oh goodness, my sister will have to put the name in there, but the one that married, she was Princess of Monaco. She used to be the actress, but she looked a lot like her. I would never view my mom as sexy. My mom was more of a 50s kind of mom, and and then when she got older, there was really no sex appeal about her. And I think that's part of why I just sort of didn't really think of it myself,
Mm-hmm.
And when you said, Daiana, that it would be disrespectful for you to say that about your mom, would you feel disrespected, 20 years down the line, if Lily was asked the same question and said, hey, do you feel that your mom is a sexy mom? And if she says, yeah, my mom is damn awesome and sexy. How would you feel about that?
I would be okay with it. So the thing is, parenting styles shifted, right? The way my parents raised me is completely different from the way I'm raising my kids. And I would say this: communication between me and my kids is very open. And like, the boys, more so Daniel, has had friends who really like his mom, and there's times where there's this awkwardness, like, dude, she's my mom, but we can have the dialogue, right? So I wouldn't feel disrespected if Lily later on says my mom was sexy and that's where I get it from. But that's the thing, is the way I'm raising differs from them, because I will say this, and I got this from aunts, I got this from parents, I got this from my community. To be a woman, I had to have long, luscious hair, and I had to have long nails. And look, I don't have long nails. I get paid to have short nails, right? I was supposed to take care of myself. The t-shirt and leggings was like a big no-no. And so, but, right, although you had to look kept and look beautiful and look presentable, you couldn't be flirtatious. You couldn't greet everybody with a kiss. You couldn't smile at everybody. So there was a huge like opposite to this whole being a
Yeah, it's like
woman
an
thing.
opposing factor.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
so hard. And so similar to yourself, it wasn't until later on in the years that I started, kind of embodying it all and like meshing it together. Because there have been moments where I have to be careful with the sexy. Like, for example, within my business, right? As a massage
Yes.
therapist,
Yep.
the business is taboo as it is, right? Well, guess what? There's no happy endings here, whether I'm showing cleavage or not. You can't afford me. Let's put it out there. And the truth of the matter is like, I have to be careful how I dress. And so, even with my attire to work, it's like, I want to look like this all the time, but this is just me. This is not me inviting you to do anything. This is not me inviting you to say anything to me either.
Right.
And so there has to be this balance of, how I present myself, because my curves already kind of give everything away in a sense, right? And I have to be careful on the way that I present myself in regards to that community, right? With not my clients. My clients love me. I could have a sack and they're good. But you know what I'm saying? When you're meeting people, it is perceived a certain way if you look a certain way, attire
Yes,
wise.
I agree. And especially in your profession, it's true, because there is still that annoying stigma that sticks with massage therapy. There is still that, and it still does exist. Like there are still questionable places,
Mhm.
Um, but even in my profession, I've gotten that, as a chiropractor. I remember when I first graduated, I was, thinner. I was really thin. I was much younger. And I remember occasionally having this weirdness between male patients, because they didn't take me seriously, because
Mhm.
even though I was a doctor and I went through all the schooling and did all the hard work, they kept looking at me like I was like eye candy or something like that, and I think that might have also contributed to the fact that I was always very um opposed to it, because I wanted to create a certain persona. The other thing is too that I didn't think that you could be all of those things.
Mm.
Like the reason I didn't view myself as sexy is because I thought sexy was someone with a certain type of body shape and with a certain look to them. And I was always very sporty, even though I didn't really play sports. I mean, I was just very active. I was always outside getting dirty, gardening or doing something, like, and I was always like doing physical work, but I didn't realize until again, dating a Puerto Rican man, that all of that could be sexy,
Mhm.
like all of that, like, and sexy, you also have to define, because, some guys can look at their wives as they're breastfeeding the baby, and not sexual with the breastfeeding, but that moment they look at that woman and say, man, you are just the sexiest woman alive.
Mhm.
Or she's up late at night doing something and she looks like a mess, and he looks at her and says, you're the sexiest woman alive, because they're seeing beyond the physical pieces, they're looking
Absolutely.
beyond, and once I kind of grasped onto that and said, I can be sexy. I can be outside doing that. And then I caught myself too, man. You ever notice when you go to the store and you're like, I'm just going to run in really quickly,
Mhm.
I'm just going to throw my hair up. You always look the worst, and then somebody's either flirting with you or coming on to you, or they'll run into you, go, you look great today, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yes.
I just
I just let it be now.
That's right.
I
That's
just
right.
because that's when I get the most attention. Because I do look, I'll
Yes.
say this. I love my hoodies. Ooh, I love my hoodies. And I'll just go out and you know me, I'm not big on makeup. So I just go out, I do my thing, and I get the attention, and I just, just take it in.
That's
Okay.
right. That's
But
right.
don't change the attire. It's a quick run.
And listen, I've done this where I've been in the yard working, right? Because I love gardening. I love doing yard work. Dirty, sweaty. I'm like, crap, I have to go to Home Depot. I just get in the car and go. And I'm not kidding you. There are men checking me out, and they're not checking me out like, oh my God, she's like dirt. I'm talking, I have dirt on me,
Yeah.
like dirt on me.
Yeah.
I'll like catch myself in the mirror. I'll just clean the face off a little bit, but I got my clothes. They're not, and I could tell by the way they're looking at me, they're not looking at me going, oh my God, what a mess. They're like looking at me. Like they're like
curious.
they're smiling at me.
Their
I'm
curiosity.
going, kidding.
Yes, they want to know what's going on. Hello, Lori.
but so it's those pieces that, you went. So again, owning it as a mom, because just because you're a mom doesn't mean you can't be sexy. It doesn't mean you can't work it. It doesn't mean that you go somewhere and you have to play yourself down because, you have kids or you have your kids with you. And I also want my kids to understand that I want them to appreciate me being sexy. I don't want them to look at me and be embarrassed by that, because what that's going to do is set up for them a behavior. Because I think that, and I'm trying to think back to myself. Like if I thought that my mother was being sexy and I didn't want her to be, I would have sabotaged that. But the thing is, my mother really never put that out. She never put that vibe out there ever, And but I don't want my kids, because I already see that with some of the things. Like, the way I am, I'm just goofy. I'm funny. I talk to people. I'm very personable. And my kids will get, except for my oldest. My oldest is like the most accepting. Like she just goes right along with it. She's awesome. But my younger two, they'll get embarrassed or they'll say comments to me afterwards, or why are you doing that? Or why are you acting like that? And I cut them off. I'm like, listen, hey, don't tell me how to be me. I want you to be comfortable being you. If you're uncomfortable with me being me, it's not me. That's you. Yeah. And I don't care if it's an 8-year-old that I'm telling this to. So I want them to not be embarrassed by who I am, and I want them to be proud of who they are. So I just want to put a couple of things up here. Let's see. Kathy says, my mom always looked younger than her age. Oh my OMG, she wore so much makeup until we moved here and I was taking care of her. I stopped wearing makeup too. I asked her where she thought true beauty came from. She said the drugstore. Then she said because that's where she bought her makeup. I don't think she thought herself to be sexy. That's that age group though too, Kathy. They were taught that
to doll up.
Yes. Oh my God. Absolutely. Let's see. My sister wrote, when women work in male dominated field, they are looked at differently.
Yes. I used to be a security operations manager, and oh my gosh, like the boundaries and the rules I had to put in place. You're absolutely right. And whether it was, can she perform or not, right? Because she looks a certain type of way, even to the way that we're approached. You're absolutely right. But that's our job, right? Our job is to say, no, I'm here. I'm doing the work. I have the same credentials as you have, and I could still look good while I'm doing it, period.
Yes, absolutely. I think so too. And I think it's shifted over the years, but I still think there's a lot that needs to be desired, because again, like in a workplace, like my sister was saying, it's they don't want the woman to look sexy, or they go back and forth. Like some of them they would want, some of them they don't, like depending on the position. But it's like, listen, I think we're at a point where we just need to wear what we feel is like, you could be professional and sexy. In fact, that's what I love being, I don't like professional like suits unless it's sexy. And I came across a website years ago when I hit my low point and I hit that depression. One of the fabulous pieces that came out of it is I lost like 21 pounds, not even kidding you, 21 pounds in 3 weeks. And when I, even in the midst of the depression, I was maintaining that weight loss. And it was when I started to come out of the depression, I went shopping one day and I was like, oh my God, like I can fit into clothes that I wasn't fitting into in a really long time. And then I looked at my closet and I had all these like frumpy old clothes, and And I discovered a place called Venus.com. It's a very cool store. I love this store online. And they have very sexy clothes, but they also have very sexy professional clothes.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time that I bought something that was professional but sexy, and then I did a workshop, I was teaching a workshop in it, I was exuding
Mm-hmm.
confidence because I saw how I looked and I saw how I felt, and it was so nice to marriage those two together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I started grabbing all the other pieces together. I started saying, you know what, as long as I just know who I am and walk with that confidence and feel that confidence and exude that energy, it doesn't matter what the hell I'm wearing
Yes.
or what I'm doing. I will always be looked that way. I won't catch everybody's eye, and I don't need to. That's not what I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it for. I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing it for me. But
Yes.
that is an added bonus when,
Yes.
especially when you're older and you got some younger guy checking you checking you out. You're like, that's right. I got it.
Hello. I got it. I got it.
Mother of
Like the
three.
Tuscan sun when she starts touching herself. Yes.
Let's see what else. I love what Liza wrote. Liza, thank you so much. I think you ladies are sexy. We think you're
Thank
sexy too,
you.
Liza. Um, Kathy writes, look beyond the physical.
Yeah.
Yep. See, look at Chanel. I think you're sexy too, Liza. And yes, my sister wrote, yes, men love a natural woman. They do. They do. Once, especially, it's either at a certain age or the younger ones don't necessarily want to admit it. I think that's part of it too. Let's see what Kathy wrote. When I was working in a public housing authority, a female coworker would get so upset if I wore jewelry. I
Mm.
enjoyed wearing long necklaces with my polo shirts to work. It made me feel so incredible. And again, that's on them. I mean, I could see if you worked in a manufacturing line and wearing long jewelry could get you caught on the machine. That's a different story. It's a safety issue. But when we're talking about someone coming in and saying, "Oh, you can't wear that." Well, why? Oh, well, because it's just really not appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
That's happened to me. It happened to me in church one time. I had just given birth to Christopher and I couldn't fit into my own clothes and I wore those maxi wraparound dresses. And I was going to go receive communion and one of the ushers told me to sit down, that I could not go up to the altar, and she had like this fest on me and I'm like, what's going on, right? I was very disoriented because I didn't understand what was happening. And she said that, my breasts obviously were engorged, and that I couldn't go up there, and I lost like full mass. I lost my shit. I wasn't in a good place to start at, and I was seeking God because I needed help, right? And I was taught to go to church,
Oh
and
my
I'm at
God.
church and this lady's telling me, no, I can't be there, I can't walk. I lost my shit, like the whole mass, like everybody got so quiet. And I said, if you are looking at me that way, you have the problem. You're committing sin within the church because I'm just here. You have no idea why I'm here. You don't know what I'm going through. I
You're
said,
so
and
badass.
if the priest is looking at me in a sexual way, that is his problem. He needs to take that up with court. And so at the time,
You
my
said
partner,
this in church, like you.
yes, I am not lying to you. I have witnesses. I have receipts. Yeah, I lost my shit because I'll be honest with you, I wasn't in a good place. I was going through a lot of personal issues. Some are public, some are not. I was again a mother. I had already Daniel, who was 3 at the time, and I had a newborn. And yeah, I was taught when shit hits the fan, you seek God. You don't talk about it. You don't seek help. You seek God. And I went to the church with this hope that I would be, cleansed and saved and I was met with that right there, and I lost it. I've never lost
You are
it,
phenomenal.
but I made it a point. So I sat down, right? I did sit down. I was shaking. I left that Monday. I went and had a meeting with the priest, and I said, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. I go, number one, you have women here wearing lace in the bra and nobody's speaking out to them. Number one. I said, number two, what if I was a prostitute? What if this was the only attire that I have? What if I just had some, what did you call the pasties? What if I just had that, right? And I was at a moment in my life that it was do or die. And in my head, it was go to church. You're going to reject me? You're going to push me away because of how I look when I'm obviously seeking help, right? There's something in me that's telling me go to church and you can't be present for me. And, obviously,
What did he say?
So he was moved by my words, and he's apologetic. And I wanted the lady to be fired. You should see me, because my parents were ushers in the same, not in the same building, but within the same church. And I was like, you need to implement the rules. They're not there for that. They're there to tell people where to sit. And, I'm like, I'm remembering everything from my church days. And I told him, I said, you guys need to be more open. I understand that we want to be presentable here, right? And we want to come dressed up because we're honoring God. I love that. But I'm not coming dressed up for you or for you to have a different perception of me. And then he wanted me to join the church and be a part of the community that makes decisions. I said, no, I'm done. I cut my ties here. Like I was like, my family.
You wanted the Mary Magdalene to come in and be part of the church.
What happened? Say that again.
He wanted to be the Mary Magdalene to come in and be part of the church.
Yeah, I was done. I'm done. Even she got a bad rap. You know what I'm saying? As much as she done, all the work that she's put in, the healer that she was, she got a bad rap. Why? Because she was favored. Yep. So that's the thing, is it's about, and man, right? Man created her story to be man created her story to be about her being a sinner and all this sexuality, and that wasn't even true.
Right.
So, but that's the perception of what I'm telling you about womanhood is like, okay, we want you to look a certain way, but you can't behave a certain way. Like that shit doesn't
or
make
we
sense.
want you to look a certain way, but not all the time, and not in certain situations. And they control. Let me just tell you, the fact that you did that and that story you just told made me feel you're even sexier than I thought you were. Like that made you sexy. You understand what I'm saying?
You have to speak up. You know what? There's moments for it. And I'm a warrior at heart, and I pick and choose when I, show up. And I thought that moment was very impactful because I swear I needed help. And that was my way of screaming for help. And to be met that way, like it threw me off. And
I'm glad you didn't back down. I'm glad because so many other women would have, and they would have just sunk into their seat, and then it would have empowered that woman who said that, and it would have set a precedence in the church. That day, you had a lot of people. There were people that might have been agreeing with the woman, but there were probably a lot of people that were also looking at you going, good for you, because this is supposed to be that way.
But even as a mother, like just postpartum, like, hello, that's a whole new world. I don't care if it's child 1, 2, 3, or 10. That there's something that happens within that timeline. And I was suffering from depression at that time.
Yeah.
And you need a hand reached out, and for them to have taken it somewhere else is sad. But it's about us creating the awareness. It's about women who do embody the sexiness in them to kind of teach other people, this is how you're going to treat me because this is how I treat myself. This is how you're going to respect me because I respect myself. And that's how we carry it on, and we take away the stigma from being sexy.
Look at Nubia. Hi, Nubia. Nubia came on and she's so cute. She said, I look beautiful. Thanks, Nubia. I really appreciate that. It's good to see you. Nubia's also a very sexy mom, right? So, and all the moms that are on, we really appreciate you being here, and we're celebrating you. Celebrate yourself, this weekend. Make it a full weekend. Some people say, I don't like the holidays like Mother's Day or Father's Day or Valentine's Day. They're just Hallmark holidays. You know what? I don't give a shit. It's a day that's telling you to stop and honor somebody or something. So if we have to be reminded to have a love day in February, then so be it. If we have to be reminded to celebrate moms in May, then so be it. But it doesn't need to be one fucking day, like tomorrow, today's Thursday, Saturday, in Shelton, Connecticut, there's something called Mommas and Mimosas. They do this every year. I'm speaking there, but it's such a fantastic little venue that they do. It's for half the day. They have vendors there. They have demonstrations. They have speakers, and it's for moms to get out and celebrate. Okay. And so I know that's not the only place out there. So if you're not near Shelton, Connecticut, you can go find something local to you. And then wear your best, wear your sexiest, strut yourself out there, take yourself out to dinner, don't wait for the breakfast in bed in the morning on Sunday, or for them to do, whatever it is that they do. Quite frankly, I don't know what the hell is going to happen in my household, because last year, and the last 2 years, I did all the cooking on Mother's Day, I don't necessarily mind it, but I got to tell you, for this year, I'm actually in my head going, you know what? I don't really feel like doing shit. I want it all done. So find something to do all weekend. Say, I'm out. I'm celebrating. This is my weekend. And if they say, well, it's just Sunday. Nope. My weekend. Go take yourself out to a movie. Go out with another girlfriend or girlfriends. Let me see. I like let me see what's writing here. So Liza says, yes, be the best mom ever. We are more than deserving. Yep, absolutely. My kid said, my mother is a sexy mama and the strong one. Yes. And Milagros is so great with her kids. She's so very open. I don't doubt that they say that about you, Milagros, because you are. My sister, she's like, I knew she was going to say that. I think I baited you. I think I did that.
Thank you.
My sister's going to cook, but my sister doesn't have to either. She's a mom, we'll do it together. It's not a problem. But the bottom line is this, you decide what is sexy, number one. You decide how you want to live. If you think sexy is taboo, we urge you to redefine that. Like, really look at it again. It's sexy doesn't mean that you're walking around with a sign on you that says screw me. And, that's sexy can be whatever you define it to be, but whatever it is, own it. You let it envelop you, let it just fill you up. And because nobody can tell you otherwise. If somebody in your life is telling you to tone it down, or why you do that, or, why is your hair that color, or why are your nails that color, or why do you need to do your nails? You don't need to give us an excuse or a reason.
No.
You just go out there and be you.
And you don't need to share it with everybody, one of the viewers said a piece of jewelry can be the sexy that you need. That's enough for you. It could be a dress. It could be your hair. It could be a perfume. It could be waist beads. It doesn't matter what it is. It's you connecting to something. It could be a piece of cake. Hello. Like whatever speaks to you. Yes.
I'm going to eat this.
Yes. A bowl of pasta, just it's whatever it is for you, and you define it. And again, it doesn't need to be shared with everybody, but you definitely, I like the word that kept coming up as we were talking was confidence. And just have confidence with self, and definitely self-care. Like Lori said, it's not just about this weekend, it's about every day, and creating a foundation for yourself where you can experiment safely, right? You don't hurt yourself, you don't hurt other people, and you uncover yourself.
That's right. And you're never too old to be sexy. Like, the beauty of our tribe is that we have the older women that come on, and I say it loosely because I'm older, but I mean somebody that's older than I, that they have that confidence already, most of them, and the bottom line is this, for those that are listening, that you're never too old. If you never were when you were younger, screw it, just do it now. Don't listen to what anybody else says. Like Dana was talking about, identify the things that you believe are sexy? Like, what do you consider sexy to be? And when you identify those and feel comfortable with it, right? Because you may say, well, stilettos are really sexy, but I'm going to tell you, I cannot walk in shit that high. I really can't, right? And gardening, they kind of stick into the ground, so it's kind of doesn't work, you know.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, you decide what's sexy for you, and then go out and spoil yourself this weekend. Go out and buy it. Go out and put it on. And it doesn't have to be for anybody else. It could be just for you. You could wear it in the house when you're cleaning, or have the strut when you're cleaning, or put the music on. But it could be when you go out. You know, get dressed up and or do the thing that you want to do for yourself, and then just go about your day and walk around that way. And I'm telling you, it's for you. Don't go out there and look around and go, who's looking at me?
No, it's
Just go out there
freeing.
and look.
It's
Just be and
freeing.
look.
Yeah.
Yep.
Embodying self is the way to go.
I like Kathy. OMG, even me wearing a dress to work, that female coworker would say something. That female
Kathy, I'm gonna go give that lady a hug.
Yeah, that female coworker had issues. She had issues for sure.
But don't let it shift you. You know, keep wearing the pieces that make you feel the way you do. And obviously, if she ever comes up and says anything, maybe she needs to be educated, or maybe there's something in her past that was very taboo, you know, and that was a don't do, you know. But definitely embrace her, because she has challenges when it comes to that.
Come with
She'll hate me probably.
Yes, come with compassion. And I listen, and I know I've been there, because when you're an intimidated individual, I was intimidated for many years, and I used to I always was that one person that, you know, that typical woman where you're with your friends and then the woman walks in who's exuding that confidence with that sexy look. And I was one of those people that would be like, oh, look what she's wearing. Or, you know, like, look at her walking in, like thinking that. And that was all my own shit. That was all my own stuff, because I couldn't do it. I didn't want to pull it off. I didn't have the confidence in myself. So it was so much easier to go after somebody else. Whereas now, listen, now I don't hold back. Like, if I see a woman, I don't care if it's a guy or a woman. If they look hot and sexy, I will tell them. I don't, you know, and I mean, if it's a man with a woman, I won't disrespect, you know, but I'll sometimes say it to
Lori.
But listen, one time I've told this story before, but one time I was at Stop and Shop, and I was food shopping, and there was this young couple. They were probably in their mid-20s, dating, I'm sure. And you could tell I think they both came from working out, because the Edge was right next door or right in the same shopping center. And so we're in the aisle, and I could not help notice the girl had such a nice ass. Like, she really did. Like, you could tell she worked it. She like it was so I'm like staring at her ass. I'm going, oh my God, like going, I want an ass like that, right? So finally I'm like, okay, I gotta say something, because if they catch me looking, you know, they're gonna be like, what the hell is this lady's problem? So I walked up and I said, and this is what I did, and I did it in such a fun way. I said, I'm just going to tell you this to the girl. I said, if you're working out on a regular basis, you have a nice ass. And then I looked at him and I said, and you better appreciate that ass, because you better buy her gifts all the time. Right. And I walked away. They laughed so hard.
I bet.
She's going like this to him. See, and he's laughing, right? Because that's kind of how I felt. What's that kind of, that's how I felt. It's like, you know, I think that when we appreciate other women, especially too, when we give them that kudos to go up to them and say, can I just tell you, you look absolutely fucking fabulous in that, or you look so sexy, so beautiful. And who cares if it's the woman that already knows it and then kind of gets that, oh, you know, thank you. Who cares? Let it go. Don't judge it.
Yeah, that's your perception, because she might not take it that way.
That's right. That's
she's admiring somebody, because
that's
to be seen, right, Lori? To be seen, right? It moves. It's magical, and we should do that.
But you'll get the ones that are just so blown away that you said, because it is very different to hear a compliment such as that, a sexy compliment from a woman to another woman versus a man to a woman. And I sometimes will give a disclaimer and I'll say, like, listen, I'm just going to say this. I am as heterosexual as they come, but damn girl, you are working that dress and you are sexy as shit. You better walk around this room and own it, and women love that because they just, because maybe they were thinking they were, but they held back a little bit, and if that puts like an extra step in there, and or maybe they came out that way and they were probably going to have a fight with their significant other because when they got home, the guy was like, oh, you were too sexy or whatever. But to hear it from another woman and step out and be like, you own this, you got this, it's very empowering. Absolutely. Oh, this is what Kathy says. I'm out of that job. She confessed some things to me a few years later after I quit. After I told her I forgave her for being so mean to me all those years. I always treat others with kindness no matter what. Yeah, Kathy's fabulous.
Kathy.
And you know what? I'm glad that she confessed to you too. Like, I'm glad you had that conversation with her because that's not easy to do. It's not easy to admit behaviors either, especially when
there was a lesson wrapped up in that, because that let Kathy know, this is my boundary. I'm gonna wear my jewelry. I'm gonna wear my dress. I'm gonna be me. So definitely.
Right. Yep. Damn right. Well, this was absolutely fabulous.
Yes.
So I did put into the comments the information on getting in touch with Daiana. So if you are in the Stamford area, she is a licensed massage therapist in that area, Stamford, Connecticut. You can connect with her through all her social media. I'm putting all your stuff back up there again.
Thank you. And I'm traveling. I'm on the road now. We're doing mobile massage. So Fairfield County or up north, I'm here. We could also do Reiki virtually.
There you go.
But like Lori said, I am in Stamford. So a la orden.
And these are clickable links. They should be clickable at least in there. And if they're not, just copy them. But I'm trying to see. Oh, yeah, they are clickable. Good. That's the whole point. I always say they're clickable, and I'm just checking now after all this time. But, here's the other thing, though. Journal of Hope. We're always looking for donations. It's a wonderful organization. So please support that organization. Daiana is just exudes love, kindness, spirit, sexiness, and badassness, like, for sure. She really is. I love how you said you're a warrior. That's what I teach, warrior mindfulness. And I love that word because you really are a warrior. You embody so many elements of how, something that we want to strive for as women, to be strong, intelligent, courageous, sexy, and vulnerable at the same time, and kind and compassionate. So thank you for coming on and being the guest and being the co-host. Ooh. So I appreciate it so much. So we will be back next week. Gladiator Guru should be here for Tuesday's show. We have a double dose of, we're going to be talking about deception detection. We're going to be talking about how to catch a liar. So we're going to have a conversation on Tuesday, and then we'll have our special guest, Jeanette Gadati, who is a deception detection expert. We've had her on before. It was a great show. We had a lot of people come on. She's going to teach you some skills, and I will teach you some skills on Tuesday as well. So happy Mother's Day, everyone. Happy Mother's Day, Daiana. Yes. And everyone out there, happy Mother's Day. Celebrate. We love you. Thank you for coming on. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary. And I'm not going to say Gladiator Guru's thing because that's her thing.
Yes.
So thank you, everybody. And we'll see you next week.